All right, well, I decided to move on to starting to trim the firewall up and get it so the body will sit down all the way onto the frame. Got to come up all the way pretty much to right here, and we're just going to follow it out because the up pipe that we're going to put is going to have to notch here as well a little bit to get all the clearance we're going to need. So I'm going to be doing quite a little bit of cutting right now. All right, I cut the firewall out, and then I also cut out the inner cowl portion here because it's gonna interfere as well, so that had to go. All right, we got our clearance. I had to go ahead and notch up here a little bit for the wastegate. Probably have to notch a little bit more, but we're cutting out that anyways, so not a big deal. I'm using my air saw now. Makes a lot less mess, so that way I don't have to worry about getting dust in the turbos and whatnot, even though I am covering them while I cut. For those of you who haven't seen it in one piece yet, which should be everybody who doesn't follow my Instagram, this is what it looks like. Now, this is the first time I'm seeing it with the new turbo setup, and I gotta say I really like the way it looks. But, well, I spent a lot of this morning getting ready to fabricate a firewall, and the first thing I had to do to make that happen was clean out all of the junk that I had in the car. I had a lot of parts I was storing in it. I'm gonna have to cut the tunnel right there towards the end of the transmission because the yoke does come in contact with the cross brace that goes up and over on the transmission. I'm not sure if it does further back. We'll find out when we cut the front one out. My plan is, I've been looking at it here trying to come up with an idea. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and just remove a large portion of probably this and probably this too over the engine. And I'm gonna create my firewall off of this panel and just run it down. And that should make it a lot simpler. All right, I got a large section of the cowl cut out. And this gives you a little bit better view of what I'm talking about. I'm gonna do here. I'll trim this up a little bit to make it nice and straight as I can, and then I'll just continue sheet metal off of this. I may bring it up here in the center just so that I might have a possibility of gaining access to the rockers and stuff, but I'm still undecided on that. Basically, it's just gonna curve around, tie into the firewall here, follow it down until we get to the toe board, and then figure it out from there. I got the firewall and transmission tunnel area opened up more than enough. There's going to be more we'll cut off around over here because we're going to smooth all that out. But I got the car back up in the air because this part right here is coming in contact with this floor brace, so we got to cut it out. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'll probably cut it here and here, and because it's making contact on the side over here as well, so we're probably gonna have to like widen it as well as move it up, and that should be an interesting challenge. Let's see what happens. All right, one mouthful of dirt later, I have successfully extracted the cross brace section, and we're gonna set the car back down onto the drivetrain here just to make sure what our clearance is, and we're also gonna check to make sure that that one clears. I'm pretty sure it does, but only one way to find out for sure. All right, well, even with the brace cut out, we're still sitting on the sheet metal. I don't know if you can see it through that hole or not, but what we're gonna do is get the air saw and just cut kind of like that. Finally got the drive shaft freed up. I can give it a little twist here and the whole car moves, so that means we're rotating freely, and we don't have to cut out any more of the transmission tunnel. So what we're gonna have to do is make it from here forward. All right, so the firewall. I've been kind of eyeballing it and coming up with a game plan, and the first thing I'm gonna do is make the section that goes around the back of the engine and the engine gets so close to the dash that I think I may actually just make the panel connect at the back of the dash here. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna shave the glove box compartment anyway, so. Okay, so the first piece I'm making is gonna essentially just cover the valve cover here. It's gonna go straight back towards the dash, and then it'll 90 down and connect to the dash like that piece that's presently sitting back there as my measurement guide. And what I'm measuring is the distance from that piece of sheet metal to where we're gonna attach to the firewall. And I'm getting a measurement of about 6 1/4. So we'll cut it to 6 1/2 and fit it up. Get a measurement for this piece that's gonna be back here. And we'll be moving right along. So here's the first piece that I've cut to size. And it lines up real nice there. First piece tacked in. Now we're gonna jump inside the car and take a measurement. And obviously we already know one dimension, but we want to know how far it's going to be from that piece to down here to the dash. Okay, so looks like it's sitting a little high. Yeah, a lot of it high. That's cool right there. It looks like 9 inches. Voila, 12 by 9. Slide it over here. See what we're working with. Right. I think we can make something happen with this here. It's a little bit twisted, but oh yeah. Potential. Cool. It looks like it's going to be pretty much on the money. So we'll fire up the MIG welder and tack this corner together. And once we get around all the important stuff, we'll actually be able to lift the body off and reach some of the other tighter areas. All right, second piece is in. And next, I think we're going to worry about how we're going to wrap these sides around the motor. All right, we managed to get this panel in as well. Tacked in a couple places. Still got a long ways to go, but we're gonna jump over to this side now and do something similar. It's not gonna be or have to come out as far, but you know, probably to about here. All right, well, I'm still working on the firewall, kind of. I've actually switched up and I'm starting the front of the transmission tunnel, which connects to the dash. And the reason why I'm doing that is once I have it in place, it'll give me a lot better of an idea where I need to land a lot of the other pieces that I've cut out, because it's a really big hole right now. So essentially what I've made is gonna cover from this seam here. It'll go up to the dash and over the transmission, and it's gonna end right about here, and then we'll make another piece to finish it out. It's just a big change in shape right here, and it narrows a lot, so we had to make it 2 pieces. The basic idea of what I'm going for. I still have to fold a lip over on the bottom of both sides, about 1 inch long, and that should drop it down into the place it really needs to be. And yeah, I'm gonna get started on this again first thing in the morning, but it's dinner time now, so I'm calling it quits for the night. Catch y'all tomorrow. Okay, so our fitment is getting pretty close. So what I'm doing now is turning over the 1 inch flange that's going to actually weld into the floor, and we'll do the other side, and then I'll show you guys how it's fitting. Okay, so here's how it's fitting, and we've got a little work to do down here around the corner because we're not quite to the dash. Might have to make it go together more to make it a little taller. So the bead roller is pretty good for folding the metal over, but it leaves a rather round corner, and this is my technique for making it more square. I will just clamp the piece down with another piece of metal. Right now I'm using a piece of 1-inch plate. I've used tube as well, like 2x2 square, and even round tube if you're trying to create a rounded corner. But you just clamp it down and take your hammer and fold the edge over. It does create a lot of imperfections, but if you hammer at it enough, you can get it to be pretty straight. This method is also good for once you can't fit a piece in the bead roller anymore. Once I folded these edges over, I wasn't able to roll the corners anymore to tighten it up. So this is the method I'm using to, as you can see, pull the sides together and make it a little taller. All right, well now we got the height we need, but we are running into the bell housing with the sides here, and it's even worse on the driver's side because of course the starter is there. So it looks like what we're gonna have to do, all this stuff out of the way, we're gonna have to essentially notch our tunnel here to clear these things, and the piece we make to fill in this gap will have to just accommodate for that notch. It's gonna be real tight here because we do have to fit a gas pedal in here, and there's not a lot of room for that, but we'll definitely get it figured out. All right, I think I've got the first part of the transmission tunnel pretty much where I want it. I went ahead and put some clecos in to hold it down and tack welded it to the dash up there. So what we're gonna work on next is finishing the transmission tunnel and just bringing it down to here. So let's go grab some paper and come up with some templates. Got our first piece cut out, and now we can go ahead and start mocking up what we want our sides to look like. All right, here it is. Got both sides done, so we can go ahead and pull this piece off now and transfer it to metal and see what we can do with it. Oh, it's gonna fit, sweet. Moving right along, got the second half of it pretty much in place and tack welded in where we need it to be. Just gonna take a little massaging around the tail section here to get it wrap around the tunnel real nice there, and then we'll go ahead and cut out the what's left of the floor that we don't need and get this thing welded in. But I gotta call it an early day for today because I got some metal in my eye here on Thursday night, which was like 2 days ago. It's really starting to bug the shit out of me, so I think I'm gonna go see if I can't get it removed from my eye. So I'll catch you guys next week. Give you a little quick look at the driver's side real quick before I start editing my video. One piece at a time, and slowly but surely we will block all the holes.